Hello, person on the other side of the screen. I like film, and I like video games, and I also do other stuff, and I want to talk about all of these things, so I've made a little video series where I can do that. So here's my picks for this week, and I hope you enjoy, because there's some fun stuff in here. Okay, first, I really wanted to get some people into Hell Comes to Frogtown, because I genuinely, if you heard that title and you're not already excited for what the premise has to provide, then I can't. I think you should stop watching, frankly. Fucking if the idea of Domaniac from It's Always Sunny prowling around a nuclear wasteland with a fucking explosive chastity belt fighting frog people with a samurai sword doesn't like fucking get you ready to watch a movie, you gotta stop watching. You need to stop watching, because we're not friends. This relationship cannot continue. It's so, on description alone, I mean, that's why I watched the movie, at least. But like, they execute on their premise almost perfectly. Everyone plays the thing very straight, especially Roddy Piper, who plays Sam Hell, the maniac. But there's also some things that this movie does very well for being what feels like a relatively cheap B film. The practical frog suits look amazing. The set design, especially of Frogtown, looks great. The costuming is very like military / apocalypse 80s. It is a little inconsistent here to there in terms of some people looking like they're from very different movies, but as soon as they get to Frogtown, like, I feel like once they sell the premise of Frogtown and you're in Frogtown and you're frogging it up with the maniac, then I think that the meat of the movie is like really there. I think that's where it goes. But the biggest issue is that it's 30 minutes. I checked. It's 30 minutes until you see any Frogtown. Outside of the initial premise of Frogtown, Sam Hell as a character is like made important plot-wise because it's the nuclear apocalypse, and he is one of the like few fertile men in the like nuclear wasteland. So they literally spend like 30 minutes setting up the love interest and just like overly communicating that he's like really fertile. Like they get out of this. And I think in some ways it's intentional. You don't spend this long talking about this unless you understand how goofy it is. But I think they spend maybe a little too much time on that as setup for the plot. And it might just be that they're really trying to like set you in this world and get you invested in the characters. But I think most of us are just waiting for Frogtown. And I think if you're willing to wait for that, you get a really like fun movie. So yeah, just go watch it. If you are listening to me yap on about this thing, then fucking you should have skipped over. You should have skipped over the next section, because if you missed my initial sell of what it is, then you're fucking utilizing this video incorrectly. Unless you want to listen to me talk, which is fine. That's also cool. But you really should have paused the video and just gone to watch Hell Comes to Frogtown. Because I really think it in premise alone, this movie sells itself in a way that you need to go watch it right now. So yeah, I don't know. That's Hell Comes to Frogtown. Go watch it, please.
Private party.
Well, yes, but
Shut your hole!
Okay, so I got a little too excited there. Bit of a strong sell. I still think that if you haven't already seen Hell Comes to Frogtown, then definitely do that. But for the gaming section, I wanted this one to be a little more chill, because I feel like I have a little more of words to say about this next one. The game I picked for this week is Skin Deep. It is a immersive sim where you basically play your generic stealth character, and you run around and you basically rescue telepathic cats. And there's this other, kind of main plot about you need to find and do something about your clone self who is teaming up with space pirates, and they're trying to get you. And obviously they do still commit to that, and it is still interesting in terms of the plot that's being explored there. But I think that's not really where the meat of the game is. The meat of the game is you're in these spaceships, and there's a lot of moving parts. There's soap bars that people can slip on. There's explosive pipes. There's guns and noise distractions and going in and out of the spaceship. But I think in earnest, it's asking you to do the same thing a lot of times, but they're giving you a lot of variety and choice in how it's executed. There are codes that you need to get, and you can steal them from the guards, or you can look around in lockers and stuff, and the codes will be there organically. And sometimes they won't. Sometimes they'll force you to interact with certain parts of the game as a way of adding additional challenge in forcing you to do things that you wouldn't normally do, or perhaps it's asking you something of you that's easier. But it gives so many different ways of interacting with the world that make it just really fun to play around with. It's basically a spaceship sandbox that rearranges itself around 15 times with a really decent story. And it's worth it because the game looks great. It has a very unique style to it. I don't know who the artist is, but they're very talented. The team, the art team that worked on this has a very well-defined aesthetic that they kind of maintain throughout. It's a very tonally consistent game, I think. It's not going to demand a lot of you, and it's kind of easy in terms of it provides you a lot of different ways to do something, but there are some ways that are easier than others. I would recommend, kind of playing it a little pacifist, trying to see how much you can get done without killing anybody. That for me was what provided the most interest in really forcing yourself to interact with the in-game movement and the things the pickpocketing system. The pickpocketing system is one of those things that's relatively useless. Not because it's a lot easier to just kill a guard rather than interact with other things that would let you use the items that they have. And I think that's just part of player freedom and player choice. Some things are easier than others, and if you're willing to do it in a hard way to challenge yourself, that's equally as valid as doing it in an easier way to get to another part of the game that you like. But I think these individual levels are balanced in such a way that all of those choices are valid, and I think those are the types of games that I like in providing that variety and still providing enough on a respective decision to make it feel like you're interacting with a unique run of that specific level. And it's I don't play many games multiple times. I might do it for that's a lie, but it's still really enjoyable. I'm working through it right now, but I'm in the late game, and I can kind of determine that it's a good run. It's some good fun, and I really want you to play it because I want you to see the cool space cats, and when they do the play the meow. Yeah. So there's that. So yeah, have an enjoy. And yeah. And this last one, I didn't really feel like it fit into it definitely isn't a video game. And it kind of falls more into the film category. It's more of it is literally more of a short series, but I did want to talk about it because I genuinely think that it's doing something really interesting with the medium. And it's a series on Instagram called Eavesdropping. So what would probably be a very generic way, it is a very classic rom-com set in a contemporary setting that has a very strong will they won't they. But I think the thing that really sells it for me is just the fact that it's on Instagram and the way in the way that they sell the premise of doing something on social media, like it feels like you're keeping track of, like, to get a little parasocial, it does feel like you're keeping track of, like, friends. Like, you have little snapshots that tell a little more than even the people that are delivering the lines know. And you have this kind of community in the comments, and you know, it feels like it's the type of community that does happen already on social media for shows, but because of the format of Instagram, it's slightly more intimate in terms of this is being mixed in with the photos of people you know in real life, and as a result, it kind of feels oddly grounded, on top of just the way that the acting and the visual aesthetic of the web series is, that already puts it in a place that is very committed to the sense of naturalism, that you're just kind of immersed in this world and these characters. And yeah, it's exciting. People are utilizing the medium in a way that is more than just what you'd normally see on Reels. And, you know, people have been already making, like, the idea of a web series online is not new, but I think it is providing a roadmap for where vertical content can go. And because I'm very unconvinced that fucking, what the hell is that? What is that vertical streaming service called? Fucking Quibi. Remember Quibi? No, you don't fucking remember Quibi. You remember Quibi because you have to Google Quibi and remember that Quibi doesn't fucking exist. Did they bring back Quibi? No, Quibi's done. Quibi's done. Do they still have VB or Shmibu? But fucking... You get it. You understand what I'm saying. Vertical content doesn't really have much place in the fucking sphere of anything, really. And there's a lot of difficulties to getting an audience immersed in that medium, but eavesdropping does a really good job of understanding the mindset of the average, like, Instagram user. It has its series on YouTube, and in some way, I haven't seen that yet, but I feel like watching that in a more traditional format would be different, because of the nature of where it is. Yeah, on top of being a very new, interesting experiment into what vertical content can be, it's also just really good. And it's very cute, and all of the actors do a really good job of making me yearn. It's a very yearn series. And also a very getting angry at decisions made by very interesting people type of series. But it's really fun, and I think that you should give it a shot. It's on Instagram, and you already know. And, you know, yeah. You get it. You get it. We get it. So, yeah, those were the 3 things I wanted to share with people. And I don't know how often I'm going to do this, but I want to do it more, because I like sharing things that I like and talking about why I like them. So, yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you come around again if you're watching this. Subscribe and share in the comments things that you might want me to watch, or if you watch the things that I told you to take a look at, what did you think about them? Maybe you already had a pre-existing opinion before even watching the video. Either way, leave a comment and subscribe and like and do the things that social media says is good. But not all the things. The things that make my video good. And yeah, algorithm. Algorithm? Okay, bye.